river. No? Typhoon Frank is still fresh in our minds, and in a month's time, we will mark the first anniversary of this very, very destructive flood. And we are hopeful that in our lifetime, and even in the future, we will never experience that kind of devastation, misery, tragedy in our lives. Because we saw that about 200 to 300 of our citizens perished as a result of the flash flood, as a result particularly of the lack of warning during the flood. We are fortunate because the flood took place in the daytime, and we dread to think what would have happened had the flash flood taken place, let's say at 4 o'clock in the morning, when most of the people were fast asleep. Or even on a school day, when most of our children were at school, and evacuation would have been very, very difficult. So while we experienced tragedy, we experienced death, we experienced loss, we are still thankful that the casualties, the fatalities as a result of the flood didn't reach the magnitude of the thousands, as was experienced in Ormoc City about 14 years ago, 14 to 15 years ago, where thousands were killed in the flash flood. And we are fortunate because just before the anniversary of Typhoon Frank, we are now putting this flood early warning system and monitoring system to operation. Actually, the equipment were already in place at the time during Typhoon Frank, but there were some problems, technical problems, that prevented us from putting the system into operation in time for it. We did not anticipate Typhoon Frank anyway. So we are thankful that now our people can sleep peacefully at night. They can sleep without having to worry about the same kind of tragedy, that they would have to listen to the radio as people or local officials monitor the flood, the water level of our major river systems. Because as mentioned and as given in the overview, this system will rely on modern technology. Kag ang pinaka-importante sa ran, tinatalan kita makahibalugin, mag-maintain, no? Magpasiguro that the systems, facilities, especially in the various municipalities, the rate gauges, the AWS, and the river? Water level meter, no? So it's very important that we take care of the facilities. The entire system is, as I was told, is worth more than 20 million pesos. Kung kita lang, hindi siguro kita kasarang nga magpatindog sini. That's why one of our concerns was to make sure that the facilities are installed in secure areas, in the campuses of schools and areas controlled by the local government, as well, I think, as national agencies such as the National Irrigation Administration. So kinahanglan nga kita titigan naton. We should be responsible custodians because the system relies on the good condition of the equipment. If the equipment breaks down, then we will have lost a major arm for the system. No? As we have seen earlier, I think Jerry told me there's a problem in San Rafael that it is not sending the information, the data, to let us know what is happening in San Rafael. But earlier we saw that we can see the water level in Zaraga and in Dingle, no? And this will give us a sense of assurance as what happened now in Luzon, when the dam, the Angat Dam, the Magat Dam was or released water, people downstream were surprised, were caught by surprise. So this time we will not have that problem anymore, because there will be plenty of time. The essential thing, the key factor here is adequate warning. Hindi nga 30 segundos na lang ara na amo pa lang kamo kabalon nga mag-evacuate, no? Kundi siguro pinaka-oras pa nga do naghana pa lang, no? When the rivers are still just threatening to overflow well above upstream, the ESO boss, you can already start preparing. And then when it becomes inevitable, then the evacuation must take place. So we will need the support not just of the LGUs, we will need the support of the communications groups, we need the support of the rescue groups, we need the support of the armed forces reservists, we will need the support of the media, because in times of disaster, people will listen to radio. Importante katama ang radio. Maingon da kon bumbo man da, aksyon man da, super radio man da, RMN man da, no? In times of crisis, there are no siling nga makibumbo kami dito lang kami sa bumbo, o baka aksyon kami dito lang kami, maki-RMN kami dito lang kami, no? Everybody becomes one, no? It's very important that we get the cooperation of the media, especially the broadcast media, kaya sila ang pinakadasig na makapalabot sa information. So again, we are thankful, as I mentioned to General Ramonsa, the province of Iloilo is very thankful that this system was installed here in the Philippines. This is just one of three. Kaya mako niya na sure naton. One in Bicol, Aurora, no? Aurora. One in Mindanao and one in Iloilo. Hindi naton mapunggan ang baha. No? We cannot stop the rain from falling, and we cannot stop the rivers from swelling and overflowing its banks. The important thing is we have the information when it threatens to overflow and when it is estimated to overflow, because that kind of information, let me just reiterate, is life-saving. The purpose here is to save lives and maybe even property. Kaya kung we have adequate time, people can still remove their personal and personal belongings and property to safer places where they will not be damaged or destroyed as a result of the floods. So thank you to the Office of Civil Defense, thank you to PAGASA, and all the agencies that are involved in this project. Thank you very much.